I think we're in an interesting cycle. This is my third cycle in crypto. I got started in crypto in 2016, started, right? Like very
Yeah, yeah.
light. First introduction to Bitcoin, sub 600 bucks. 2017 was my first bull run, kind of round tripped it with everybody. And this is where you saw, I would say maybe the first run of like what you would call like utility shit coins. You'd have like the Denta coin that went to like $1 billion market cap, and Denta coin was a coin that was it was supposed to be a chain only for dentists. Like that's the type of gimmick that was rolling around. But
See?
nonetheless, there was money to be made. Then the 2020 bull run was interesting, and I think my entire premise for meme coins, this narrative was predicated on last bull run's narrative, which was NFTs. And that's, I think, when I started following your content was last bull run. Did you have an ape last time?
Yeah, the mutant ape. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Fuck yeah.
I remember, bro. You see, I've been tuned in. I've been tapped in. So I remember you had the old PFP, and you were running threads until like the bear market, and then you changed. Did you change your username?
No, it's still
Okay,
thread
so
guy.
you see,
It's still thread guy. I just
I'm a
don't run
fan
him
of the
anymore. Yeah.
Bro, I'm a fan of the show. You see, I've been tapped in. I've been tuned into the thread life. But what was interesting about last bull run that this bull run has made really amazing is NFT culture, which was the idea of like community and the idea of like not necessarily having a utility in order to be able to kind of have a product in the marketplace, wasn't really captured because you had limited units, you had high floor prices, so somebody couldn't really commit 30 cents to join Mog or join Pengu or any of these things. They can't commit $2. So the entry price was really difficult, and the visibility of it was hard. So now you're going to see a lot of these top tier projects start cooking up tokens that are going to allow new liquidity, new injection of users. And I think the whole like Pudgy Penguins play, which was, to me, it was a blessing just to see how it rolled out, because it's such a positive for the entire space that Pudgy does well. Because what it does is it sets a precedent for every other project that has been able to survive the bear market on how to inject new users and new liquidity and new people into their ecosystem. So it's been something really cool to observe. And I think meme coins, which is my big bet this cycle, is predicated on the mania from last cycle, except this time with the visibility, liquidity, and people understanding tokens more than they understanding NFT. I think the adoption curve is going to be pretty crazy.
Hey, you had a pretty good interview. I was just listening to it with Miles. It was a couple months ago. Talked about a lot of this stuff. Good job on that, first of all. Second of all, on the Pudgy Penguin thing, I mean, we got him back here. I'm curious, like, you've been talking about this meme coin thing for a while as well. You also have, by the way, dude, you're fucking big. You got a massive. I've had some pretty big people on this stream, and you'd make a tweet. It does fucking numbers. So shout out to that. How impactful do you think a launch like Pengu, with how mainstream and viral Pudgy Penguins are, is going to have on the larger meme coin adoption for the rest of the like non-crypto or crypto curious world?
I think Pengu's in an interesting situation as opposed to any other meme coin, and I'll tell you why. First is it has real valuable IP, not intrinsic IP, right? Real valuable IP, IP that is commercialized, and IP that is owned. I had, I'm down. I just got a liquidation alert, like a futures auto deposit notification, KuCoin. I'm down like $800,000 on Chill Guy. So, but the situation is the following, right? Like they haven't figured out the whole IP thing. Like they don't have the green light in that front. So that's a big no-no. And my assumption is Chill Guy is going to get listed on Binance. That's my assumption, but that's my gamble. That's the bet. The reason I think Pengu stands a little bit different, it's not really just a meme coin. It's kind of like a community coin. It's its own kind of meta while still allowing new users to come in not knowing anything about Pudgy Penguins. I think it's going to be really good for the space. Obviously, I don't like talking about the assumption of other potential projects that could launch coins and things like this, but I would say you're going to see a lot of other NFT projects that have survived the bear market that are going to see, hey, like this is a potential for a winning model. We saw Hyperliquid as well. You've probably seen that on your timeline as well.
Bro.
So these guys are crazy, right? These guys are just buying up their own token and saying, hey, we have the best product. If you don't like it, just fuck off. And even though they have like a closed blockchain, they've created a very interesting niche in the market, and they did a really good token launch as well. So what I've seen kind of take place, and this comes from me, and I'll be honest, I'm not the best guy in crypto. Far from it, right? Like there's people that have been in the space so much longer and understand the depths of the space. I see it from a retail perspective, somebody that has some sort of understanding of the markets, but I understand how retail perceives this space. And the way that retail perceives this space is they're looking for something that's easy to understand, something that's memeable, and something that they can talk about. So once you start talking about utility and things of this nature, you can lose a lot of normies. And I think the path of least resistance is projects that have high utility, high use case, but simultaneously the utility is found in the community, not necessarily in, we're going to build a new blockchain and things of this nature. I think it's going to be a new lifeblood for projects, bro.
So I like you as a guest because you're a crypto guy, but when I think of like Luke Belmar, I think of like mainstream viral, right? Like you're huge on YouTube, you're huge on TikTok. There's probably, I would say more than, I don't know, no data, but more than half of the people that follow you is not from crypto. Why did a chill guy moment not happen until chill guy? Like, why aren't all of these meme coins like super viral on TikTok? Why aren't they doing numbers on YouTube? Like, why did it take this long for something to go as mainstream viral as not the meme of chill guy, but like the coin, the token was viral on TikTok? Why did that just now happen in 2024?
I mean, so to answer your question regarding my audience, I agree with you. I would say about 35% of my audience has like a direct correlation with crypto, and I would say 65%, they're what you would classify as like entrepreneurial retail. They're the people that are on the internet, they're the Wi-Fi money, they're the people running e-commerce businesses, they're the people that are building businesses online, but they're aware of crypto, but not necessarily crypto native. So that's usually kind of like my bridge. My bridge is trying to be able to get entrepreneurs to either build in crypto or invest in crypto or buy crypto or at least be aware of it. So like whenever I talk about like opportunities on the internet, I mentioned two main opportunities. One is crypto and the second one is e-commerce. Now, that's the answer to your question. I agree fully with you. When I consider chill guy, the thing that makes it interesting is you need to follow the action steps of the individual, right? So the action steps of the individuals, they're scrolling, they see one of these people talk about this coin, they swipe up, they leave TikTok, and then they probably either open up the app store to download a wallet or they open up the wallet. In this case, they're probably downloading Phantom or something like this, running a Face ID or running a moonshot and instantly buying the coin. So the path of least resistance now isn't the fact that there's distribution, because I remember last bull run, right? There was a lot of stuff that was taking place with Binance Smart Chain, you remember, but it was so hard to bridge over, right? So many people were lost in the process. Remember like the whole Safe Moon craze and like all these people bridging over, it was viral. But today we have the path of least resistance, like mobile tools, mobile applications have allowed users to fulfill instant gratification of these like pieces of content really quickly. So I think that's one of the factors. The factors where we see social media bridging into crypto now more than ever is because of mobile. And this is what I've been telling a lot of founders is do not neglect your mobile build out, because if you're trying to hit retail at a normie scale, you need to be able to tap into where they are. And they are not on desktop. Like the average person is not on desktop. So it's like, if they're on mobile, what's the path of least resistance? That's why I think TikTok, Instagram Shorts, IG Reels, IG Stories are going to be really good paths of marketing for a lot of crypto projects.
What do you tell the 65% roughly of your audience that is not crypto why they should get in it? Because I would imagine there's some diehards in here, but then there's also people that are maybe finding this for the first time that don't know shit about shit. Like, what do you tell the 65%?
So the 65% of people that are aware of crypto but aren't necessarily native to the space, the conversation is very simple. It starts with what is money? And once you go down the rabbit trail of understanding what your money is, who makes it, who prints it, the fraud that's behind the fiat system, then you begin to ask more questions. If you're not going to be, once you recognize that fiat is a scam, the question is, well, what's the answer? And naturally, you just have to evolve into a better form of money. So before we talk about investing, we talk about wealth preservation. So you have to preserve the money that you make, because these guys aren't out here trying to, make a 10x. They're okay with making 30% on their money every couple of years, 20%. They're running a business. They don't want to worry. So the first thing I tell people is you need to be able to maintain the integrity of the purchasing power of your dollar. So if I pay you right now 10 grand for consulting, if you were to just put that in JP Morgan Chase and you were to withdraw it 10 years from now, the purchasing power and value of that $10,000 would not be the same. So in order for you to preserve the value of your time in the future, you need to be able to store this energy, which is Newton's third law. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it can only be transformed. So you need to transform the energy, right, into something that is immutable, like Bitcoin. So if you transmute your energy, your work into fiat, it gets deflated because they're stealing from it. If you transform your energy and your attention into Bitcoin, it appreciates because it's an asset that can't be printed more of. So what you're doing is you are going against the second law of thermodynamics, which is when energy gets expended, you create entropy. Entropy is chaos, right? And that's what fiat causes. But in order to break that kind of paradigm, you save in Bitcoin. So that's what I tell people, right? Like the basic thing is save in Bitcoin. It's your best saving mechanism. And that's the kind of the pill. From there, you kind of expand into the markets and to the opportunities. But like I said, these are bear market conversations, right? At this point in the conversation, I'm okay shilling certain things at certain parts in the bull run, depending on metas. Are they right all the time? No, far from it. But there's certain metas that last 3 months, there's certain metas that last 6 months, and there's certain trends that last a couple years. You have trends, kind of like these NFT runs a year or two, then it dies off, then runs again. Then you have narratives. Narratives would be like your Web3 or your bigger things. On your narratives, you have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, you have Solana, you have these kind of big ideas that are taking place. What was the narrative behind Ethereum in 2017? That it was going to be what? The Bitcoin killer. So that narrative is what drove the price up. What's the narrative that drove the price up last bull run from $1,500 to 4,300, 4,200 was NFTs. People had to buy ETH in order to buy NFTs. So my assumption was that the driver of Ethereum was the demand for NFTs, and that was the conversion. Today, you have Solana and you have a lot of things that are taking place. They're taking a lot of liquidity. So Solana is a little bit shaky. Excuse me, Ethereum's a little bit shaky, but they have the ETF. So my conversation with the normies at this point is I don't tell them to get into the markets. In fact, probably in the next 6 months, I'm fully rotated, fully 6 to 8 months, fully rotated out of crypto. I made really, yeah, of course, absolutely. My goal is to leave 6 to 8 months. I've already cashed out a decent percent. What happens if Bitcoin goes to 160, right? Like, okay, there's a good idea for return. Altcoins can rally 300, 400, 500, 600%. But over the last week, altcoins are down 30%, 40%. This means you, me, and the average person that's a holder, their net worth is down exponentially over the last week. And that means that now your coins have to double in order for you to just break even. At certain thresholds, making more money isn't going to change your lifestyle, right? So it's like if you have $10 million, making 15 might change slightly, but if you drop from 10 to 5, your lifestyle changes drastically. So it's about a wealth preservation game. The crypto markets will be here tomorrow. I've made terrible plays in crypto over the last couple of years, and I've made great ones. The goal is to always be able to continue having more chips so you can continue playing. Never go all in on a single pick. Never go all in on a single meta or a single narrative. Understand that 99% of these things do go to zero, and that the main utility that we're running off of is the narrative and the momentum and the trend and the attention that's behind that narrative. So, a big one, I think it hasn't caught on. I think it's going to catch on when Grand Theft Auto catches on. And people trolled me. People trolled me on the internet about it. But even if Grand Theft Auto doesn't introduce it, my friend, I do believe that it'll bring the hype, which is the idea of in-game currencies and the idea of building your real life in like the three-dimensional world, but working in the digital world. And you work in the digital world and you kind of live in the real world, and that's kind of how it works. Grand Theft Auto is going to revolutionize this. I think, a lot of these big influencers are right when it comes to gaming. They might not be right on the timing, but they are right on the trend. And I think, for example, the Grand Theft Autos of the world are going to be the catalyst for people to start paying attention. So I think that's one of the big metas. I'm not super heavily invested into them. I did like seed round or angel round for Dark Times and a
They're
couple
kind
of
of
these
tough
other
to
ones.
invest in, dude. It's like there's not that much.
So hard, bro. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough. So it's once again, it's like there's certain narratives that you just go off of trend momentums. You see what people are talking about, you see what's hot, and then you kind of play that game. So from a utility standpoint, it's hard. From a hey, can I make money on this? Then there's a chance.
Hey, can I ask you an off-topic question real quick?
Anything better.
Don't lie.
I want.
Are those color contacts or no?
No.
Them joints are crispy, bro. All right.
Thank you.